Good morning. Good to be with you this morning. Well, I'm over here by the Big Nickel. I'm going to be talking this morning as we're continuing to build on our healthy, the 4 pillars for the healthy Christian business leader. The 4 pillars are healthy relationships, biblical financial values, biblical spirituality, and balanced living. This week we're focusing on pillar number 2, which is biblical financial values. And I thought I'd come and do my recordings this week in the morning out here at the Big Nickel. And so you can see the Big Nickel behind me here. I'm going to be switching it up over the next 5 days, but taking different shots from up here at the Big Nickel. And so this week the series is called Gifts. So I'm going to be talking about giving of gifts. And I'm not talking about your Sunday morning offering. I'm not talking about what you give necessarily to charitable organizations, although it could possibly include that. But that's not kind of the focus. It's really just about giving gifts, like giving gifts to your family, giving gifts to your friends, giving gifts that we do on a regular basis. Well, I thought I would start with the best gift giver of all. And the best gift giver of all is God himself. God is a giver of gifts. And I'm just going to run through a few of those as a reminder to us as we get ready for this week to talk about gifts and the idea of giving gifts and just kind of focus on that. So the first thing is God is the giver of life. God gives life. And you can read about that throughout the scriptures, but in particular, 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 13 says, I charge you in the presence of God who gives life to all things. In other words, there is nothing on earth that has life. You have life because God has given you life. I have life because God has given me life. I'm out here in nature right now, and the trees and the birds that you might be able to hear in the background, they all have life because God is the giver of life. And so that's the first thing. I figured if we're going to talk about gifts, the first thing is the gift of life itself that God himself has given to us. The second, of course, and if you've been around church at all, you know John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son. And so that is the second gift that I want to talk about, and that is the fact that God gave his son to die for us on the cross. What a great gift. So God is the giver of gifts. He gives life. He gave Jesus so that we can have eternal life, and that is a significant gift that God has given to us. The third is faith. God gives faith, and that is a significant one as well, because if you want to have eternal life, you need to have faith. And where does that faith come from? Sometimes people have this idea that faith comes up from within inside them, and they kind of just have to get enough faith to believe in God. And the Bible is very clear that in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8, we are saved by faith, and that is a gift from God. The salvation is a gift from God, but the faith to receive that salvation itself is a gift from God that God gives us to enable us to put our trust in him. God is also the one who gives spiritual gifts. And you read that in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 1 through 11, that he is the one that gives spiritual gifts. And there's a list of spiritual gifts that God gives. And you can get into all kinds of discussions and debates about some of those gifts and all of that, and some of them still for today, and are some of them gone, and you can get all kinds of debates about that. But here's the thing, in verse 11 it says, the Spirit gives these gifts as he wills. He gives them, and he is the giver of those spiritual gifts, and he gives those spiritual gifts as he sees the need for them. And so he gives them as he wills, not as I want, not as I demand, not as I say, God, give me. No, as he wills, he gives those gifts. And then, of course, James chapter 1, verse 5 talks about the fact, it says, if anyone lacks wisdom, ask God, who gives generously to all, and it will be given him. And so that's the final gift. And there's more gifts, obviously, that we can talk about that God gives. But the final gift I want to talk about is just the fact that God is the giver of wisdom. Do you lack wisdom? Do you say, I'm not sure what to do in this situation I'm in right now. I'm not sure what direction to go. Should I go left? Should I go right? Should I go straight forward? What is it I should do? Should I back up? What is it that you can call on God to give you wisdom, and we're told that he will give, and he's generous in giving wisdom, and he will give wisdom so that you can then know and decide and understand what decision to make. So God is the giver of life. He gave us Jesus so we can have eternal life. He gives faith so that we can receive that life. He is the one who gives spiritual gifts as he sees the need for those. And he is the one who gives wisdom generously. And so today, as you go about your day, remember that God is the giver of all good gifts. Again, James chapter 1, verse 17 reminds us of that. Remember, God is the giver of all good gifts. And may we follow his example in our gift giving. May the Lord bless you. And again, I'll be seeing you here again tomorrow. Have a great day.